Hi guys. Wanted to come on here real quick. I've been spending so much time with this Wolfe tarot. This is one of the most beautiful, like not just aesthetically, but yes, aesthetically. Just for me, especially in my tarot journey as a tarot reader, and just like, going inward, looking at myself. One of the most just gorgeous, I don't know if it's like the descriptions, and so I mean, like, there's a lot to be interpreted with the imagery and the artwork, which is gorgeous, but there's a lot to be interpreted on these cards, and just like working through the book and doing spreads for myself, and I have used it in private readings. This is not like a paid ad. It's just, there is something so magical about it. I'm gonna pull a few cards just to speak to the energy this evening, give you a little taste of what kinds of messages and just how gorgeous they are, how they come up using this deck. So thank you, Devany, Amber, Wolfe. I knew this is going to be my favorite deck even before I purchased it, so it feels good to finally have it in my hand. Clearly it feels good because Cosmic Union just came out. Queen of Wands, shadow side, and I'll explain that in 1 second, what I mean by shadow side instead of reversed. Major Arcana balance card, and one final card. The Eight of Swords. Okay, so the first card we drew is Cosmic Union. Cosmic Union is the World card. I'm gonna read a little bit of it to you from the book. Let you guys take a look at the imagery, it's just gorgeous. This is about completion, ending, and beginning of a cycle. Saturn. Saturnian energy is strong here because there's tests that have been completed, right? Like we think about the World card. This is completion. This is a completion of tests in the Fool's journey, right? So this is talking about you guys being near or having completed a cycle. There's a sense of release and freedom. End of a karmic cycle. We've been tested so much, right? We have these new levels of wisdom given to us from the cosmos, from the divine. The gifts are accessible through the work because we have simplified ourselves and allowed access for wisdom. Wisdom is not a complex thing. We just need to quiet our minds and quiet ourselves to access it. It's a wonderful time to rest, take in, multitudes of information we have been presented with. I mean, this is really the end of a very long karmic journey. Lots of information being presented with you, and if this is your case during Mercury retrograde, be careful as you sift through this information. Definitely take your time, don't rush. And you should feel accomplished and confident with your progress. As above, so below, as within, so without. You got the Queen of Wands in reverse. So she's in the card, if you look at her, she's balancing 2 planets, I believe. This is Mars and Saturn, I believe. Like, see, you guys have to like really bear with me. But it's such a beautiful reading, like already I can tell. Queen of Keys, it's having vision, passion, identifying your direction, balance, frustration, intolerance. Oh, it's Mars and Neptune, guys. She's the queen of this element. She's got that watery, mysterious, definitely some psychic abilities. Some of you guys may be really in tune with your psychic ability, or your inner high priestess, right? Spiritual pride, but is still coming into balance, guys. So the kind of person who has a strong, fiery personality, it's easy to be pulled into this person's gravity. So you may be dealing with a female fire sign, and if it's not, then it could be a male with feminine attributes. But this is about balance and duality, like the stop and go. It's like figuring out your power and figuring out the fire, and not making sure not to get carried away with the fire in your sails, but moving forward with grace if you do fail. You may find guidance in your dreams right now if this is you. Always know that bitterness is never the course, but I don't see any bitterness really on the board as it relates to a shadow, just because this was in shadow, meaning reverse. Whatever is like holding you back from keeping the fire like lit, the flame going. There's something that's wetting the fire, depressing the fire. It could be your sadness, some sort of anger from the past. You have to let it go. Knowing and saying to yourself, I exude patience and love even when it may be difficult. You got balance, Major Arcana card. This talks so much about... So this is the Justice card. Right? This is about the yin and the yang, getting what you give and giving what you get, right? Like, and expecting that from the universe. If you work hard to the point of burnout, well, then you'll get results that will give you, or that, speak to someone who's working and burning the midnight oil and not, honoring their soul and their energy and their refuel that they need. And likewise, if you're lazy and you're, outputting lazy work, that comes from someone who's probably not passionate about what they do, maybe depressed. This is about getting what you give. Again, I can't say that enough. So it's like, you can sit there like this woman and wait for the fruits of your labor to show, but in the end, this is balance, this is give and take, and what has been produced will show itself in its true colors, right? And finally, we have the Eight of Swords. And this is about using, you see that third eye, this is about using your mind's eye, because this is really all about, binding yourself to old ways of being, self-deception. This is about, there's an imbalance. It's almost like there's two of you. There's two sides. There's duality, but it's not really a healthy duality. There's two sides to every coin. There's two sides to this story. There's two sides to your way of being. It's like the angel on your shoulder, a devil in your head. I'm pretty sure it's the moon, the sun, and maybe Mars. Eight of Swords. Sorry, hang on one second, guys. It's like, you know, when you can get really in your head, you can build up walls, make parameters for yourself. It's like a cage that doesn't even exist. It's self-sabotage. You got to listen to that inner gut, that third eye, that high priestess, that inner knowing, to help you relinquish that need to control everything. It's like when things get out of control, we shackle ourselves to the one thing or the two things that we do know, and it broods and it kills our mood. Relinquish control, the need to overanalyze and overthink. Balance to cosmic union. So balance to the world card. If we can implement knowing that we will get what we give into the universe, so that we will attract, you know, love and light if we put that out into the universe. And likewise, if we put out negative vibrations, we will only attract that to ourselves. Balancing our energy physically, on the physical realm and on the emotional realm. Being at a point of, you know, cosmic union balance, you see, like, I mean, comfortably nude the woman is in both scenarios. This Queen of Wands in reverse, that's about the balancing of the dark and the light. Neptune and Mars with the sun in the background. The sun, I mean, if anything receives too much light, it can burn up in flames. You know, there's the shadow side to the sun. The sun is beautiful and illuminates when it's in its purest form, but when it is not, it can burn, and it can lead you to, you know, kind of implementing this Eight of Swords behavior, which is like not being able to relinquish control of, you know, even if it's like we're so desperate for control, even if it means holding on to something that is so toxic and awful for us to hold on to. Just gonna do 2 cards, best advice for this energy, if this is you and this resonates. Whoa. 6 and 6. So we got the 6 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Chalices in reverse, with the 6 of Swords, guys. This is all about balance. A 6 in reverse and then a 6 right side up. When we speak of the 8 of Swords, you know, chaining yourself and restricting yourself to, you know, thoughts that do not serve you or no longer serve you. A lot of them reminders of the past and what was, right? That nostalgic feeling, thinking back to when times were great, but we can't repeat the past. Every part of our past, it can stay with us, but it is fundamentally parts of space that are now in the ethers behind us, right? This is all about movement. 6 of Chalices, 6 of Cups is all about movement of the mind, moving back and thinking back to, you know, nostalgia when times were good in the past, but it keyword is the past. This is Six of Swords is movement forward, leaving something behind, headed to greener pastures, to, you know, your rainbow, to where you should be. Not 100% knowing maybe where you're going, like in all the details and having all of them figured out, right? Like you see, like the man is kind of with this, with the oars, kind of, you know, gazing. The boy looks like he's, you know, excited, looking for the future, and the girl is kind of like looking for her natal north and pointing. There's parts of you that may be sure one day, maybe not so sure as to the path that you're going, but you're keeping that momentum and you're moving forward, because you've crisis averted. You've just gone around a waterfall. That could have drowned you in all of this old watery energy. Those beautiful memories served a purpose, but they don't have any purpose here right now. Now all they're doing is keeping you kind of in this merry-go-round of thoughts and imagery, thinking back to the past. And as the Queen of Fire, Queen of Wands in reverse, not allowing you to maintain that balance, because we know that Queen of Wands, when unbalanced, we see the shadow side of her. We see a side that can publicly really display, and you know, not that anyone should suffer silently, but really publicly show that they're suffering. And I don't know if this is you or someone that you're dealing with, but this is someone who's really, they're having a hard time right now. But if this is you or someone you know, what you need to know is that you're headed for much calmer, beautiful waters. But get back to that third eye, that intuition, that high priestess in you. You're almost done. This vicious cycle, the ups and downs, the topsy-turvy, like the karmic cycle that you've been going through, whatever this may be, whatever this scenario is, it's almost over. And all this on the, you know, the lack of balance, the trying to balance, the getting, you know, lost in your, or shackled to your own thoughts. You see a woman with angel wings who rises above all of this. Above all this, carrying and taking with her only the wisdom and the strength of a true she-wolf that would know what are those little nuggets of wisdom meant for her to teach her, guide her, and guide others in her journey. Because even though we've got Cosmic Union, which is the World card, we are so far from done with our work here. So I want to thank you guys, and I want to send again my sincere thanks to Devany Amber Wolfe for this gorgeous deck. And I hope this reading resonated with you guys. If you haven't had the opportunity, please hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, comment below, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the reading, the deck, and yeah, wishing you guys a ton of love and light, and I'll see you soon. Good night.